You're an inspiration to the youth and a mascot for our state, Tamil Nadu.
I have attracted some 4 or 5 engineers to move with me now. Because of me, people have moved in to this remote village. And part of my mission now is to attract this talent back.
How can we, I know you're thinking aloud, and this is a great idea that, to bring development to tier 2, tier 3 cities and to villages, bring employment to the rural masses. Our strength is our, our thinking, analytical thinking. We are able to, respond in the world of software and come up with innovations. So I think that's a great idea. I mean, that's wonderful. Tamil Nadu has a lot of industries. We are really high in industrialization. The largest number of factories are in Tamil Nadu. How do you see, the industries evolving to the challenges which are being posed, or, the opportunities being thrown up by various technologies under the hood of Industry 4.0?
Yeah. So, the thing that would help, 2 things that would help, immensely at the government level. First, fiber optic connectivity to every village, which the Prime Minister announced, and that's mandatory because connectivity is what brings back talent. If you have connectivity, the talent can work here. That's it, to a first degree. And I have a fiber optic connection here to this village. I paid BSNL 2 lakhs to set it up. So for this thing there, infrastructure fees, but it worked great, as this meeting shows. It's actually working beautifully. So because of this, I'm able to get a lot of work done, and it's very, very productive. And it's a very remote village. Actually, they had to install this fiber over like 12 or 13 kilometers. Most villages, you don't have to do that far. Maybe 4 or 5 kilometers, 3 kilometers is enough. But for this particular village, they had to do 13 kilometers. So if that fiber optics to every village vision, the second is the road connectivity to the remote villages is still spotty. And it has improved, but still spotty, very pokey, all that. If that is improved, then transport, both goods to the market. See, if I do produce I intend to start a factory here. And the transport, the last mile transport is a problem. So you'll have both your lorry or whatever will be stuck in this and all that. And jobs are vitally needed here because these are the people who are moving to Mumbai or moving to Bangalore or moving to Chennai from here. And will not attend all the attendant problems in urban squalor, all of that.
Okay. So that will all retain the talent here. Basically, we can retain the talent in Tamil Nadu.
For that, I have to create jobs. The real minimal thing I need is fiber optics and road.
Okay.
Everything else, water, all that, slowly we can improve. But these 2 are minimal basics. And once you get that done, then actually we can do this. Then from a symbolic perspective, there are a few things I would like to pass. One is, if I were in politics, this is what I would recommend. I'd say we have to make sure that school teachers have to put their own children in the very schools they teach. Mandatory. It's a law we can adopt. If they don't, they will lose their jobs. Actually, that will instantly improve the school. It
is the equivalent of options in the private sector, right?
Correct. You hold options in your own company, right? It's the exact same idea. And broader, they can expand it to say government servants at all levels should use government schools. Because that again improves the government schools, because we are forced to focus. And because the majority of our population is still in government schools, cannot afford anything more. And if we improve that quality of those and the elite pay attention to this, see that today the elite decoupled. All the elite in cities, all of that, including, there is 0% of our employees that actually have their kids in government school. 0. Out of 9,000 employees. Everybody is in private school. So I often, I feel sad about it because I came from a government aided school. But
I also studied all my life in Kendriya Vidyalaya, so it's kind of midway there, but it's a government school.
Right. And the sad part is now we actually don't have that anymore. I mean, we have an elite that decoupled. They go to private school, they go to CBSE, and there's Cambridge curriculum, all that. Even essentially foreign curriculum. And I'll give you an example. My niece is studying in this Cambridge curriculum, and her religion, she's studying the subject of religion. You know what religion they teach? Judaism, Christianity, and Islam is the religion. I asked her, do you know anything about Adi Shankara? Do you know about Ramanuja? Do you know about Madhava? She doesn't know anything. We still have a colonial mind. We still have a mind that is still infected by that virus. And that's actually why I'm here to actually restore some balance to this. Because to show that you can be economically very successful, you can go toe-to-toe, you can compete on technology with the world and being grounded. That's what I wanted to say.
How you, in one of the blog posts, you have said, 5 reasons why I deserve Nobel Prize. You write that you barely escaped negotiating a peace treaty between Mac and Windows users. Why would you elaborate on this experience?
That was a joke. That was a joke post.
Fine. I mean, it brings me to the to Tamil Nadu. So how do you see Tamil Nadu as a state which can be the manufacturing capital for the next decade, or it can be the software capital for the next decade? What is it that we need to kind of project to the rest of the world, and also bring about change in our internal processes so that this can happen?
See, Tamil Nadu is the opportunity and challenge is Tamil Nadu is now a relatively more advanced state in India, where our per capita GDP is reasonably ahead of a lot of other states, which means that low value addition activities are difficult to sustain here because they will move to other states necessarily, right? They will chase the cheaper labor in other states. So Tamil Nadu has to now invest in higher order, next level of growth strategy, which is know-how intensive. I don't just say knowledge intensive, because knowledge is a word, it somehow appears like a book knowledge. Know-how. How do you do this? What is this various kind of industrial arts? Know-how is what Japan has, Germany has. Knowledge is what colleges attempt to teach. They are not the same thing. So the know-how and the skill development we have to focus on, so that we have, for example, electric cars. We need the motor, building the electric DC motor know. We need the software know-how to do self-driving cars. This is what will take our GDP from that current per capita, whatever, 2.5, 3K or level, towards the 10,000, 20,000 level. All India will rise up to 6,000, 8,000 level, but if Tamil Nadu has to stay ahead of the pack, it has to get on this know-how, skill development, all of that. Interestingly, this is part of what I'm focused on, this deep rural, but I'm taking some of the poorest kids and I want to make them into world-class, globally competitive workforce long term, so that they can actually compete with the German worker, the Taiwanese worker. And then only if they can compete with the German or Taiwanese worker, then their income will automatically go. But if we have to compete as a Bangladeshi worker, our income will go down. So that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do.
We need to move up the value. We need to move up the value chain. Correct.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying.
You also believe, right? Something very, very. You said a little while ago that everything doesn't have a price, right? Giving education to children, giving them a motivation in life. These are all priceless things. So, what are one of your most priceless possessions as you reflect back, coming to Tenkasi after your long career in business?
So, I actually now the most important thing here is the love and affection people have for you when you do even small things for them. Okay. See, India is a country that our traditions have not died out. This thing remains. I mean, the cities we have become a little more atomized, all of that. But in these villages, all that, there is still the depth of that whole thing is there. And that is probably the most priceless thing, and I don't want to lose it. I don't want these people to lose it. All the development in the world cannot make up for that lack of love, affection, all of that, and the caring for fellow human beings. That's all there in these places. A lot more. Okay, so that's what we have to give economic development along with the spiritual development and keeping the good parts, very good cultural heritage of our society. That is how I see it.
Great. Let me end this conversation with asking you about you were a very, very successful startup, right? And I think startup holds the key to knowledge innovation, to growth in the coming decade. How do you see one can actually improve and build on the existing energy in the Tamil Nadu startup ecosystem?
Yeah. So our challenge, as I said, we have to now go deeper into validation and deeper technology. So startups, for example, you don't want to just do fintech or edtech, that is good, but you also go into deeper tech. For example, can India ever produce a challenger to an Intel or a Microsoft or an Apple or a Google? Those are the kinds of things we have to think about. WhatsApp, all of those things we have to think about. We should not think of them as solved problems because we have not solved them, and we have to import all these technologies, and we pay a stiff price when we import these technologies, and we can't afford that. And we need to give something back in return. We don't have enough. Our trade balance is actually quite poor. So we have to improve our trade balance by moving up that value chain and being able to both compete head on with the global companies on our own terms, and also in some cases replace those things here domestically if necessary. So this is the way to higher, advanced, faster growth actually for Tamil Nadu and as well as broader India.
Great, thanks, Sridhar. It's been wonderful talking to you. You are an inspiration to lots of people around the world, and especially to the villages of Tamil Nadu, where and especially Tenkasi, where you are working. We hope to see that this change you have started will usher in a much larger change, and there will be many, many more people who will come back in the spirit of Yadamurai to come back and serve their own nation and the state, and bring in development. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Neeraj. Yeah.